Hey gamers, it's Grind This Game here with a guide on how to make blue points in Graveyard Keeper. It's something I kind of struggled with when I first started the game. So I'm going to show you a bunch of ways. The first way though is researching items inside the church, in the basement of the church. So there's a quest you'll get to eventually open the church, and you'll be able to come down here and you'll be able to build a bunch of stuff in the basement of the church. And the first thing you want to build is a study table. That's this item right here, and I've built one over here. And on the study table you can study various items. So if you look at any kind of item that you haven't studied yet, you'll see study not complete, and it'll show what kind of science or research you'll unlock: green, red, or blue. Sometimes there's more than one. So if you look at this marble grave fence down here, I haven't researched this yet, but if I research it, I'm going to get some blue points. So let's try that right now. Now you're going to need some faith for some of these researches. You're going to need science. And faith is received when you do sermons up in the top of the church. And science is you can get from studying things like paper, which I'll show in a second. So once you study this, you'll see I'll get a bunch of blue points. So I got 73 up to, oh wow, 1653. So quite a few for that. But earlier on, you're going to be studying easier items like the wooden cross and the wooden grave border and stuff. So to get science, you can just research things like paper. So here's some paper here, clean paper. And you'll get 2 science for each piece of paper that you decompose. So you can see I'm getting science points here. And to make paper, there's various ways to make paper in the game, but one of the easiest early ways is to do it is to build a church workbench. And on the church workbench, you can turn skin, which you get from bodies, into pigskin paper. And then from pigskin paper, you can make 4 clean paper. So that's a really easy way to get paper early on in the game. Now other items in the game, they'll give you red points and green points when you research them. I don't recommend you necessarily research them early on, because you'll be able to get red points and green points from doing other things in the game, like digging up trees and mining stone and planting things and stuff. But if you do want to research an item that has, let's say, red points, you can eat some cake first and you'll get the circumspect buff. So I'm just going to do that first here. And you'll see I have a buff up here. And what that's going to do is when I research this pumpkin, for instance, before it only gave green points, but now it's going to give 1 bonus blue point, sorry. So if I study that, I get 1 extra blue point. So if you're going to be studying items for red points or green points, you can squeeze a few more blue points out of it by eating some cake first. The things that commonly give blue points when you research them are going to be grave decorations, like a cross or a grave fence. You can also study body parts to get blue points, like brains, intestines, and so forth. In order to build this study table, you're going to need to open up your technology tree, and you're going to need to unlock research, which the first blueprint you'll get is the study table. And in order to make the paper, you're going to need paper crafting, which you can do here. It's going to unlock the church workbench, pigskin paper, which is made out of skin, and then clean paper. Some of the best items to research on the study table are these items along the bottom here, which is under theology. Things like the humble marker, simple gravestones, like the gravestone, the wooden cross, wooden grave. All these will give blue points when you research them. All the way up through here, stone grave fence, stone cross. Now another way to make blue points early on is to make hemp rope, which you can make at the church workbench. And you'll see it under this tab here. And it requires 4 hemp for each hemp rope. So if you make one of those, you're going to get 1 blue point. Now to get hemp, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can buy it from a guy, and I'll just show you where you go to get that. Kind of starting at your starting house. So here, if you start at your starting house and you head into town, kind of along here. Now I'm running fast because I've got a speed potion, and later on you'll be able to make these in run much faster, which makes everything a lot nicer. But you'll just head into town, heading east out of your house, past the wheat field here, all the way through town. It's quite a jog, but past the inn, and if you continue east, just outside of town here, you're gonna find this fellow down here. Dig. And he'll be able to sell you hemp seeds, which you can grow in your garden to make hemp, or you can just buy hemp from him directly. You can also buy hemp rope directly and seed oil, which is useful later on. But if you just buy some hemp seeds, take those back and put them in your garden, or just buy hemp directly. I recommend buying the hemp seeds and then just planting them in your garden. I also recommend you get the teleport stone right away. It's only 2 silver and you buy it at the inn. That's going to help you get around much quicker. It does have a cooldown, but it's definitely worth purchasing. So you can plant those hemp seeds in your garden here. You'll probably want to use peat and hemp seeds. So you can grow a bunch of hemp that way, turn it into hemp ropes, and that will get you some blue points. Now you'll want to spend your blue points kind of strategically early on, because there's certain things in the technology tree that can unlock ways to make even more blue points. So under smithing, if you follow through here, you'll get to glass, where you can make glass, and then later on you get a glass blower, which lets you make conical flasks. Now this is a really good way to get blue points. You're going to need furnace 2 to do this, which you get right here. Now this is a furnace 3, but furnace 2 looks very similar. And inside you'll make glass, and you'll make it out of sand and water, which are really both easy to get, and you can get them infinitely. There's no kind of blocks on it. So once you've made some glass, you can make conical flasks, and each conical flask will give you some blue points. So there was the conical flask, it popped out, and we got some blue points for it. So extremely easy way to get blue points early on. Now to get sand, you head out of your house and head west past the graveyard. You'll need a shovel to do this, but getting a shovel is pretty easy. Now this bridge won't be repaired, but you can repair it. But you don't need to go across it, you can go straight up here. And you'll find a sand pile here, and you can just dig sand to your heart's content. Eventually your shovel will break, but you can repair it or make a new shovel. So that's how you get sand, and then I'm just going to teleport back home here. So to get water, you can just use this well here, and you'll get these water buckets. And the water buckets will go in your inventory, and you'll just have to right click and use them, and water pops out of them. It just magically comes out and you'll have water. So right click, use, and you'll get more water. So you get 20 per bucket. So that's water, and then you've got sand that you dug up, which I didn't pick up because my inventory is full. And then you can make glass out of that. 6 sand, 2 water, and 50 fire. And later on you can make advanced conical flasks out of conical flasks plus water. These will also give you blue points. So here comes the advanced conical flask. It's going to pop out here in a second. And it looks like we get 1 blue point. Yeah, 1 blue point for each advanced conical flask. You're going to need quite a few conical flasks later on in the game, so it's worthwhile making these and getting blue points that way. Now the next thing you probably want to unlock is under theology, and that's following along this way along the bottom to try to get stone gravestones. This will let you make the gravestone 2 as well as some other items here. Now the nice thing about gravestone 2 is that it takes 3 stones to make, and you're going to get blue points for making it. So we get, looks like 3 blue points for each one. Once you've made your gravestone 2 and you've got your blue points, you can then deconstruct it in this tab over here. And you'll get some stone back. 1 piece of stone. So you're getting a little bit of stone back, but you can repeat the process over and over if you have lots of stone. And this is a nice repeatable way to get lots of blue points. So it's worthwhile spending your early blue points to get this unlocked, because then you can push through and get more blue points. So I'm back down in the church basement here at the church workbench. There's other items here that will give you blue points when you make them, like candles. As well as the more advanced candles and incense, which gets unlocked later. Now if you open your technology tree and go to book writing, you'll be able to unlock the desk later on, which is right here under writing. And I've got a desk over here. It's actually a desk too, but it works similar to the first desk. And there's a bunch of stuff you can make under here, like notes and chapters and books and flyers. These all give you blue points when you make them. So if I make a note here, I'll get some blue points. Flyers are also something you're going to need later on, and they give blue points as well. You're going to need pen and ink and paper. Pretty nice way to make early blue points. A little bit later in the game, you'll be able to unlock the random text generator, which is in the book writing tree here. And I've got one built down here. It looks like this little desk here. And you can set a zombie up to work on the desk itself. Now, I'll have a separate guide for zombies, which I'll link to in the description. But inside this random text generator, you can select books to be made out of paper. It takes 3 paper, and you can set the zombie to automatically make them. You can set them to make a certain quantity, but you can also just tell them to make them forever. And you'll get a random red book, blue book, or green book. And each book has 25 skill points. It takes a very long time for the zombie to make one of these books, but it's worthwhile making them, because you can leave them and they'll make them automatically. Now once a week you'll get to Astrologer Day, which is showing up on the calendar here, and he'll sell you books that can give blue points, red points, and green points. So I'll just run over that way. You can also teleport to him using your teleport stone once you've discovered him at the lighthouse. But if you haven't done that yet, I'll just run over there. So you head all the way east, kind of to the side, to the edge of town here by the ocean, and then you head south. And along this road. And you'll get to the Astrologer here. And if you talk to him, you can trade with him. And you can, once you've unlocked tier 2, you can buy a book here. It costs 5 silver, and it's going to give you 25 blue research. There's also a red book and a green book for cheaper. And in tier 3, once you unlock tier 3, you can buy a book that gives you 50 points for 10 silver. So if you've got lots of extra money, this is a great way to get blue points. And you'll probably find kind of mid-game, if you're doing things correctly, you're going to have lots of extra money. So you just right-click, use them, and that gave me 50 blue points. This one's going to give me 25. These books are similar to what the random text generator unlocks as well, the 25-point version. In order to unlock the second tier and third tier, you can buy and sell items that will slowly increase your reputation with each vendor. But under the technology tree, you can also go into the theology, and you'll see there's a prayer for prosperity. And this will increase your standing with a vendor each time you do it. You'll get a piece of paper that you can use at the vendor, and it'll increase your standing. You'll have to wait until the next day to actually get to the next tier, but very useful for unlocking second and third tier vendors. So there's several other ways to get blue points in the game, but that covers kind of the basic early to mid-game ones. Hope you found this useful. Let me know in a comment if I missed anything. It'll help other players with the game. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.